Namaste. Welcome back to Samskriti. We are in the 8th Sarga of Yuddha Kandam in the Adhyatma Ramayanam series. Hearing the words of Kumbhakarna, Ravana, with his eyebrows arched in anger, sprang up from his seat as it were and said scornfully, "I know you are very wise, but I haven't called you to preach me now on spiritual matters. If it is acceptable to you, look upon my action as yours and go for battle. If not, you can relapse into your sleep. Probably sleep has already overtaken you." Inferring from Ravana's words that he was angry and annoyed, the powerful Kumbhakarna started quickly for the battle. Mountain-like in size, he passed the ramparts and emerged out of the city, causing terror among the monkeys. He raised terrific war cries louder than the waves of the ocean, and gathering the monkeys in his hand, began to gobble them up. Seeing Kumbhakarna looking like a huge mountain with wings, all the monkeys began to run away in fright, just like all the creatures tried to escape from the clutches of Yama, death god. Kumbhakarna rampaged amidst the monkey forces with a very strong dumbbell in his hand as his weapon, Mudgara. Everywhere he was killing the monkeys, swallowing them, and was crushing, grinding, and pounding them into pulp under his feet as well as by hands. The wise Vibhishana, who was holding a mace, saw all this. Approaching his elder brother Kumbhakarna, he prostrated at his feet and said, "O high-souled one, I am your brother Vibhishana. Have mercy on me. I rendered advice to Ravana respectfully in many ways to restore Sita to Rama, who is Mahavishnu himself, but he refused to take my advice. Also, he drew his sword to kill me. He reproached me most scornfully and ordered me to get away. Surrounded by a band of evil-minded courtiers, he kicked me out of his presence. I came away with 4 ministers and took shelter under Rama." Hearing these words of Vibhishana, Kumbhakarna embraced him and said, "O my dear boy, seeking shelter under Rama, you will be the savior of the Rakshasa tribe. I have heard from Narada that you are a great devotee of the Lord. Dear one, now you go away from my presence, for my eyes, under the influence of liquor, make no difference between friend and foe." Hearing these words of Kumbhakarna, Vibhishana prostrated at the feet of his brother and went to the presence of Rama in a very pensive mood, overcome by worries and remorse. Kumbhakarna now continued to move about like an elephant in rut amidst the monkey army, destroying them with his hands and feet. Angry at the sight of this, Rama took up a special weapon called Vayavyastra, which is shot by invoking the wind god. Rama directed it against Kumbhakarna and cut off his right hand that held the mace. At this, Kumbhakarna raised a terrific yell. That severed arm of his crashed to the ground, causing injury to many monkeys. The frightened monkeys now withdrew to some distance from the battlefield and watched the battle between Rama and Kumbhakarna. Though his right arm was cut off, Kumbhakarna now came forward to attack Rama with a sal tree held in his left hand. But Raghava cut off that hand too with the Indra missile. With both his hands cut off, Kumbhakarna continued to rush at Rama, howling and shrieking. Rama thereupon severed both his legs with 2 semicircular headed arrows that threw these limbs up to the gates of Lanka with a big bang. Though bereft of his hands and feet, the ferocious and fierce Kumbhakarna, with his mouth wide open like the cavity of a submarine fire, rushed yelling wildly towards Rama. He appeared like Rahu rushing towards the moon god to gobble him up. But Raghutama filled his wide open mouth with sharp and powerful arrows, at which the Rakshasa raised terrific howls. Then, with the idea of killing the Rakshasa, Rama mounted and released at him a powerful arrow imparted to him by Indra, which shone like the sun and was sharp like the thunderbolt weapon. Just as Indra's Vajrayudha severed the head of Vritrasura, Rama's arrow cut off the Rakshasa's head, which was massive like a mountain and glittered because of his earrings and jaws. Hit by that missile, Kumbhakarna's head fell at the gate of Lanka, obstructing its passage, while his body fell in the mighty ocean, crushing many marine creatures. Thereupon, the Devas, along with the Rishis, Gandharvas, Pannagas, Pakshis, Siddhas, Yakshas, Guhyakas, and Apsaras, showered a rain of flowers over Raghava in their joy and sang Rama's praise. Just then, Devarshi Narada came down from the sky, illuminating all the quarters by his glowing radiance, to see Sri Rama, whose body was beautiful and blue-complexioned, who held a bow in his hand, whose broad eyes had turned a little crimson, whose broad arms were resplendent with the arrow of Indra, who was casting merciful glances towards the monkeys suffering from the wounds caused by the arrows in the ongoing war. Seeing Rama in the above posture, Narada was overwhelmed with devotion and affection for the Lord and prayed to him with an emotionally choked voice. Narada said, "Salutations to you, O Lord of Lords, O Master of the worlds, O Supreme Spirit, O the Eternal and Truthful One, O Lord Narayana, O the Supporter of all, O the Witness of the universe. You are the very embodiment of pure knowledge and wisdom. But in spite of that, you have assumed a human form by your delusionary power called Maya to trick the world into believing that you are subject to worldly emotions such as happiness and joy, misery and sorrow, like an ordinary human being. Though residing in the hearts of all and partaking of the nature of self-resplendent self-consciousness, you cover yourself with your Maya. Only men of pure minds are able to recognize you through that wheel of Maya. O Rama, with the opening of your eyelids, you create this universe, and with their closing, you withdraw it into yourself. You are the Supreme Brahman in whom the whole animate as well as inanimate world is reflected, who is the cause of its creation, and there is nothing in this world excluding you. I bow reverentially before you. The most exalted sages know you are the one who has taken the form of Prakriti, Purusha and Kala, the manifested state and the unmanifested condition. My salutations to you, O Rama. The Vedas have proclaimed you as changeless and unconnected with Maya, as pure consciousness. And the same Vedas describe you as having the whole universe as your body. This view of the Vedic teaching appears contradictory to some, but the truth about this contradiction will not be clear even to wise men without your grace. In this play of yours with your Maya, there is really not the slightest contradiction. It is like a mirage in which the sun's light appears as water due to visual illusion. O Rama, it is due to illusory perception that all this universe is attributed to you. When the mind is properly instructed, one is able to understand your real nature that transcends the gunas. How can limited beings understand your nirguna aspect, the aspect without any attributes and transcending the gunas? How is worship and devotion possible without an object to be loved and worshipped? Therefore, the wise and intelligent persons worship, adore, dedicate themselves to, and have devotion for your saguna form that you have adopted during your incarnation on this earth. This way, by being infused with enlightenment and knowledge of reality, they are able to cross this ocean of samsara. Various inimical forces like desire, anger, etc. oppose and terrify those who address themselves to this task. These obstacles constantly and severely agitate and torment the mind, just like cats terrify the mouse. But your form shines in the minds of those who ever think of you. This ocean of samsara is indeed like a puddle made by a calf's hoof mark to those who are devoted to your worship, who ever imbibe the nectar of the accounts of your glories and who associate themselves with your devotees. Therefore, I always meditate in my heart upon your saguna form, and being thereby liberated, I roam about freely, wander all over the worlds, and also am adored and honored by all the gods. O Rama, you have done a great deed for the benefit of the Devas. By the slaying of Kumbhakarna, quite a lot of the burden of the earth has been removed. Tomorrow, the son of Sumitra, Lakshmana, is going to kill Indrajit while you, O Rama, will slay the 10-headed Ravana the day after tomorrow. I shall be watching the entire proceedings from the sky along with the Siddhas. Be gracious now to bless me and permit me to go to the abode of celestials." Thus, having taken leave of Rama and having received the adoration of gods, the holy sage Narada departed to the sinless abode of Brahma. Hearing that his valorous brother Kumbhakarna had died at the hands of Rama of matchless prowess, Ravana was stricken with deep sorrow and fell on the floor in a swoon. When he regained consciousness, he began to bemoan the loss of his brother. Now Indrajit, hearing of his uncle's death and witnessing his father's sorrow, came forward and spoke to the afflicted Ravana. "O great one, abandon your grief. Where is the cause of grief so long as I, Meghanada, am alive? There is absolutely no reason for you to be downcast. Be at peace, abandoning all your grief. I shall set everything right. I shall certainly destroy all your enemies. Presently, I am going to a cave called Nikumbhila. There, I shall perform a sacrifice to please the fire god and obtain a chariot and necessary equipments to become invincible for the enemy." Saying so, he went to the designated place for fire sacrifice, put on robes and garlands of red color, smeared red sandal paste on his body, and observing silence, began the fire sacrifice. Coming to know about this enterprise of Meghanada, Vibhishana informed Rama of it and said, "If the evil-minded Meghanada is allowed to complete the sacrifice, then he cannot be conquered either by the Devas or the Asuras. Therefore, I would like to have him killed immediately by Lakshmana. So, please order Lakshmana, who is the best among the brave warriors, to accompany me on this mission. There is no doubt that your younger brother shall surely kill Meghanada." Thereupon, Rama said, "I shall myself go to destroy the whole tribe of Rakshasas with the missile of Agni." To this, Vibhishana replied, "The death of this evil-minded Asura can be effected only by one who has been without food or sleep for 12 years. No one else can kill him. This is a boon given to him by Brahma. Now, Lakshmana, ever since he left Ayodhya with you, from that day onwards, has never cared to eat or sleep on account of his engrossment in your service. I have come to know all about this. Therefore, O great Lord, please ask Lakshmana to come with me quickly. He is none but that Adisesha who bears the weight of the world. He is sure to kill Indrajit. You are the Supreme Narayana, the master of the whole universe, and Lakshmana is Adisesha. Both of you are the so-called masters of the ring, the controller, the puppeteer of this world-like drama. You have taken birth to remove the burden of this world." Thus ends this sarga. Let us move on with the chanting now. अध्यात्म रामायणे युद्धकाण्डे अष्टमः सर्गः। श्रीमहादेव उवाच कुम्भकर्णवचः श्रुत्वा भ्रुकुटीविकटाननः दशग्रीवो जगादेदमासन्नादुत्पतन्निव त्वमानीतो न मे ज्ञानबोधनाय सुबुद्धिमान् मया कृतं समीकृत्य युध्यस्व यदि रोचते नो चेद्गच्छ सुषुप्त्यर्थं निद्रा त्वां बाधते धुना। रावणस्य वचः श्रुत्वा कुम्भकर्णो महाबलः रुष्टोऽयमिति विज्ञाय तूर्णं युद्धाय निर्ययौ सलङ्घयित्वा प्राकारं महापर्वतसन्निभः निर्ययौ नगरात् तूर्णं भीषयन् हरिसैनिकान् सननादमहानादं समुद्रमभिनादयन् वानरान् कालयामास बाहुभ्यां भक्षयन् रुषा। कुम्भकर्णं तदा दृष्ट्वा सपक्षमिव पर्वतं दुद्रुवुर्वानराः सर्वे कालान्तकमिवाखिलाः भ्रमन्तं हरिवाहिन्यां मुद्गरेण महाबलं कालयन्तं हरीन् वेगात् भक्षयन्तं समन्ततः चूर्णयन्तं मुद्गरेण पाणिपादैरनेकधा कुम्भकर्णं तदा दृष्ट्वा गदापाणिर्विभीषणः ननाम चरणं तस्य भ्रातुर्ज्येष्ठस्य बुद्धिमान् विभीषणोऽहं भ्रातुर्मे दयां कुरु महामते रावणस्तु मया भ्रातर्बहुधा परिबोधितः सीतां देहीति रामाय रामः साक्षात् जनार्दनः न शृणोति च मां हन्तुं खड्गमुद्यम्य चोक्तवान् धिक्त्वां गच्छेति मां हत्वा पदापाभिभिरावृतः चतुर्भिर्मन्त्रिभिः सार्धं रामं शरणमागतः तच्छ्रुत्वा कुम्भकर्णोऽपि ज्ञात्वा भ्रातरमागतं समालिङ्ग्य च वत्सत्वं जीवरामपदाश्रयात् कुलसंरक्षणार्थाय राक्षसानां हिताय च महाभागवतोऽसि त्वं पुरा मे नारदाश्रुतं गच्छतातममेदानीं दृश्यते न च किञ्चन मदीयो वा परो वापि मदमत्तविलोचनः इत्युक्तो श्रुमुखो भ्रातुश्चरणावभिवन्द्य सः रामपार्श्वमुपागत्य चिन्तापर उपस्थितः कुम्भकर्णोऽपि हस्ताभ्यां पादाभ्यां पेषयन् हरीं चचार वानरीं सेनां कालयन् गन्धहस्तिवत् दृष्ट्वा तं राघवः क्रुद्धो वायव्यं शस्त्रमादरात् चिक्षेप कुम्भकर्णाय तेन चिच्छेदरक्षसः समुद्गरं दक्षहस्तं तेन घोरं ननादसः सहस्तः पतितो भूमावनेकानर्दयन् कपीन् पर्यन्तमाश्रिता सर्वे वानरा भयवेपिताः रामराक्षसयोर्युद्धं पश्यन्तः पर्यवस्थिताः कुम्भकर्णश्चिन्नहस्तः शालमुद्यम्य वेगतः समरे राघवं हन्तुं दुद्रावतमथोचिनत् शालेन सहितं वामहस्तमैन्द्रेण राघवः छिन्नबाहुमथायान्तं नर्दन्तं वीक्ष्य राघवः द्वावर्धचन्द्रौ निशितावादायास्य पदद्वयं चिच्छेदपतितौ पादौ लङ्काद्वारि महास्वनौ निकृत्तपाणिपादोऽपि कुम्भकर्णोऽति भीषणः वडवामुखवद्वक्त्रं व्यादाय रघुनन्दनम् अभिदुद्रावनिनदन् राहुश्चन्द्रमसं यथा अपूरयच्चित्ताग्रैश्च सायकैस्तद्रघूत्तमः शरपूरितवक्त्रोऽसौ शुक्रोशातिभयङ्करः अथ सूर्यप्रतीकाशमैन्द्रं शरमनुत्तमम् वज्राशनिसमं रामश्चिक्षेपासुरमृत्यवे सतत्पर्वतसङ्काशं स्फुरत्कुण्डलदंष्ट्रकं चकर्तरक्षोऽधिपतेः शिरोवृतमिवाशनिः तच्छिरः पतितं लङ्काद्वारिकायो महोदधौ शिरोस्य रोधयद्वारं कायो नक्राद्य चूर्णयत् ततो देवासर्षयो गन्धर्वापन्नगाः खगाः सिद्धारक्षा गुह्यकाश्च अप्सरोभिश्च राघवम् ईडिरे कुसुमासारैर्वर्षन्तश्चाभिनन्दिताः आजगाम तदा रामं द्रष्टुं देवमुनीश्वरः नारदो गगनात्तूर्णं स्वभासा भासयन् दिशः राममिन्दीवरश्याममुदाराङ्गं धनुर्धरम् ईषत्ताम्रविशालाक्षमैन्द्रास्त्राञ्चितबाहुकम् दयार्द्रदृष्ट्या पश्यन्तं वानराञ्चरपीडितान् दृष्ट्वा गद्गदया वाचा भक्त्या स्तोतुं प्रचक्रमे। नारद उवाच देवदेव जगन्नाथ परमात्मन् सनातन नारायणाखिलाधार विश्वसाक्षिन्नमोऽस्तु ते विशुद्धज्ञानरूपोऽपि त्वं लोकानतिवञ्चयन् मायया मनुजाकारः सुखदुःखादिमानिव त्वं मायया गुह्यमानः सर्वेषां हृदि संस्थितः स्वयं ज्योतिस्वभावस्त्वं व्यक्त एवामलात्मना उन्मीलयन् सृजस्येतन्नेत्रे राम जगत्त्रयम् उपसंह्रियते सर्वं त्वया चक्षुर्निमीलनात् यस्मिन् सर्वमिदं भाति यतश्चैतच्चराचरम् यस्मान्न किञ्चिल्लोकेऽस्मिन् तस्मै ते ब्रह्मणे नमः। प्रकृतिं पुरुषं कालं व्यक्ताव्यक्तस्वरूपिणं यं जानन्ति मुनिश्रेष्ठास्तस्मै रामाय ते नमः। विकाररहितं शुद्धं ज्ञानरूपं श्रुतिर्जगौ त्वां सर्वजगदाकारमूर्तिं चाप्याह सा श्रुतिः। विरोधो दृश्यते देव वैदिको वेदवादिना निश्चयं नाधिगच्छन्ति त्वत्प्रसादं विना बुधाः। मायया क्रीडतो देव न विरोधो मनागपि रश्मिजालं रवेर्यद्वदृश्यते जलवद्भ्रमात् भ्रान्तिज्ञानात् तथा राम त्वयि सर्वं प्रकल्प्यते मनसो विषयो देवरूपं ते निर्गुणं परं कथं दृश्यं भवेद्देव दृश्याभावे भजेत् कथम् अतस्तवावतारेषु रूपाणि निपुणा भुवि भजन्ति बुद्धिसम्पन्नास्तरन्त्येव भवार्णवम् कामक्रोधादयस्तत्र बहवः परिपन्थिनः भीषयन्ति सदा चेतो मार्जारामूषकं यथा त्वन्नाम स्मरतां नित्यं त्वद्रूपमपि मानसे त्वत्पूजानिरतानान्ते कथामृतपरात्मनां त्वद्भक्तसङ्गिनां राम संसारो गोष्पदायते अतस्ते सगुणं रूपं ध्यात्वाहं सर्वदा हृदि मुक्तश्चरामि लोकेषु पूज्योऽहं सर्वदेवतैः राम त्वया महत्कार्यं कृतं देवहितेच्छया कुम्भकर्णवधेनाद्य भूभारोऽयं गतः प्रभो श्वो हनिष्यति सौमित्रिरिन्द्रजेतारमाहवे हनिष्यसेथ राम त्वं परश्वो दशकन्धरम् पश्यामि सर्वं देवेश सिद्धैः सह नभो गतः अनुगृह्णीष्व मां देव गमिष्यामि सुरालयम् इत्युक्त्वा राममामन्त्र्य नारदो भगवान् ऋषिः ययौ देवैः पूज्यमानो ब्रह्मलोकमकल्मषम् भ्रातरं निहतं श्रुत्वा कुम्भकर्णं महाबलं रावणः शोकसन्तप्तो रामेणाक्लिष्टकर्मणा मूर्छितः पतितो भूमा उत्थाय विललापः पितृव्यं निहतं श्रुत्वा पितरं चातिविह्वलम् इन्द्रजित् प्राह शोकार्तं त्यज शोकं महामते व्येतु ते दुःखमखिलं स्वस्थो भव महीपते सर्वं समीकरिष्यामि हनिष्यामि च वैरिपून् गत्वा निकुम्भिलां सद्यस्तर्पयित्वा हुताशनं लब्ध्वा रथादिकं तस्मादजेयोऽहं भवाम्यरेः इत्युक्त्वा त्वरितं गत्वा निर्दिष्टं हवनस्थलं रक्तमाल्याम्बरधरो रक्तगन्धानुलेपनः निकुम्भिलास्थले मौनी हवनायोपचक्रमे विभीषणोऽथ तच्छ्रुत्वा मेघनादस्य चेष्टितं प्राह रामाय सकलं होमारम्भं दुरात्मनः समाप्यते चेद्धोमोऽयं मेघनादस्य दुर्मतेः तदा जेयो भवेद्राम मेघनादः सुरासुरैः अतः शीघ्रं लक्ष्मणेन घातयिष्यामि रावणीम् आज्ञापय मया सार्धं लक्ष्मणं बलिनां वरं हनिष्यति न सन्देहो मेघनादं तवानुजः। श्रीरामचन्द्र उवाच अहमेवागमिष्यामि हन्तुमिन्द्रजितं रिपुम् आग्नेयेन महास्त्रेण सर्वराक्षसघातिना विभीषणोऽपि तं प्राह नासावन्यैर्निहन्यते यस्तु 12 वर्षाणि निद्राहारविवर्जितः तेनैव मृत्युर्निर्दिष्टो ब्रह्मणास्य दुरात्मनः। लक्ष्मणस्तु अयोध्याया निर्गम्याया त्वया सह तदादिनिद्राहारादीन्न जानाति रघुत्तम सेवार्थं तव राजेन्द्र ज्ञातं सर्वमिदं मया तदाज्ञापय देवेश लक्ष्मणं त्वरया मया हनिष्यति न सन्देहः शेषसाक्षाधराधरः त्वमेव साक्षात् जगतामधीशो नारायणो लक्ष्मण एव शेषः युवां धराभारनिवारणार्थं जातो जगन्नाटकसूत्रधारो। इति श्रीमध्यात्मरामायणे उमामहेश्वरसंवादे युद्धकाण्डे 8मः सर्गः।